And all right, ladies and gents, now for the moment of truth. Now let's see if the internet down in this radio station actually works. Let's cross our fingers here, folks. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Naka Teleeli. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
So, can you hear me rather well? Because, we are in a radio station that's like, 3 feet underground?
Yeah, it seems to be working.
All right, perfect. And now if only the Facebook stream would work, that'd be even better, but what can you do? So, introduce yourself, I suppose.
Well, let me see if I can get my cohort to join.
Oh, is Ogre there?
Real quick here. Give me just a moment.
Alrighty then. One second, folks. Hello?
All right, I think I'm back.
Oh yeah, for a minute I thought the internet had a hiccup. Whew, that was a close one.
Yeah. I think it may have, actually, but,
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, so you must be Elemental Ogre.
Yep.
How are you this Friday evening?
Just finished watching Dark of the Moon again. Ironhide, why?
So welcome, and to anyone who just clued in, my guests for the Dark Hour tonight are... Introduce yourselves.
Why
gentlemen.
can't Wheeljack survive a movie?
I am Naka Teleeli. I come from the vast realm of the internet.
I'm
And I'm
Elemental
joined
Ogre, and I live in his basement. It's a nice basement.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that. So, yeah, I guess the one thing that I'm going to ask, and this is going to come off as, a little strange, basically, just who the hell are you two?
I'm
Who
some
the hell
guy.
do you think I am?
I'm glad you caught on to that.
And then I punched him in the face with a drill hand.
Really? I ripped his face off.
Give me your face.
Yes, I'm just a talking skull right now. Don't mind me.
But, I almost dropped the little thing I'm fiddling with. Who are we? We are two people. We are Let's Players, predominantly. We've made our scene on YouTube under the same names that we run here. I have my own channel, Naka Teleeli, where everything's posted. We play any assortment of odd video games and add our commentary to them. And we do our best to be entertaining.
And if your subscriber count is by any means, yeah, I think you kinda are. If anything.
We do what we can.
I mean, that's just my humble opinion. What do you think, Ogre? Hang on, I'll throw on some music for you guys. Wait, if you guys were talking on this and hiccup.
Yeah, we knew we were just chatting.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, because I saw your boxes highlighting every now and then, but, yeah, so would you kindly repeat what you had said for our eager listeners?
Yeah, it's just something Ogre had mentioned before, where we have a reasonable following on YouTube, but at the same time we're not the biggest, we're not the baddest out there, and I remember Ogre equating us to being the Bruce Campbell of Let's Plays, where we're not giant AAA actors or anything out there, but you know what we do. And
But we unfortunately don't have the Bruce Campbell chin.
Yeah, sadly, though, we don't have the chin to pull it off, so I don't think we can really say that.
Well, I guess that answered the most basic of questions, so I guess now the next thing down the line is, when you first started, the whole Naka Teleeli persona, what were you expecting out of it, for the most part? Were you, expecting... Yeah, I know I said persona, Ogre. Were you expecting, immediate fame the minute you posted your first video, like some people I know? Or are you just doing this as like a hobby? It's like, oh hey, I'm gonna play this game for a bit, and if I'm gonna make a video. Hello?
Internet!
Yes, and despite Stevens being the best, well, not the best, but cool.
Um,
I guess that's also one of your more charming points as well.
Hey, you want information? That's my shtick.
Then by all means, answer the question, gentlemen.
Speaking of that, Lenny, here are your command codes for the missile.
Started out, it was very much so just a hobby.
As a lot.
And I think over the years, that's kind of become my mentality as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, for one, you don't do this for popularity. When you see people like Chega Conroy or Proton John doing Kaizo Mario, everyone immediately says, oh, hey, if I do this as well, then I get to be funny and popular like him. And that kind of thinking breeds bad videos.
True, very true.
Because what you want...
Hello. Okay, maybe not. But back to more music. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry for all of you who are listening in. I'm sorry for any tech issues that's been coming up. You guys on?
Yep.
Yep.
And
don't worry about the issues. We're used to it.
yeah, and to you two, I apologize if like this is coming off as wasting your time.
You couldn't waste my time if you tried.
What
I
else
do
am I
nothing
going to
but
do
waste.
tonight?
I do nothing but waste my time.
So, would you consider Naka strapping you to a table and strapping you to a chair and forcing you to watch that Nyan Cat for 10 hours a waste of your time?
I did that for 5 hours, so...
I did it for 3 hours.
No, I did it for 5, and I got numb around 3, so...
But then it got better around 4. And then it got really numb around 5.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, before our technical hiccup, what do you remember answering to?
Mentioning the like quality of Let's Plays, not so much inspiration, but the reason people Let's Play and make videos and the like.
Alright, there we go. And I guess another question that I wanted to ask you, Naka, was, how did you come up with your catchphrase, basically? Like, I noticed you don't say it as often like you did before in your early Let's Plays. For example, the phrase where you say, where is that thing?
I have a catchphrase?
Yeah,
I
you
was about to
said,
say.
something, I'm but a student of life, come...
Yeah. I am but a humble student of life. Come, let me show you what I've learned. To be honest, I think I came up with that around the time I was reading Golden Boy.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Is in reading that the main character Kentaro Oe, he says early on, kind of in the opening blurb for each episode or whatever, that he is a student of life.
I see.
He goes everywhere, learning everything he can, doing everything. I mean, he experiments with everything. He tries everything. He's worked every job under the sun, just so he can learn as much as possible.
All right.
And so he calls himself a student of life. And it was when I was getting into Golden Boy that I realized I'm much the same way. I like learning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn about everything, not just sitting in a classroom learning, though that is important. I want to learn about everything. And seeing how similar him and I were in that regard, I think that's kind of where that catchphrase came from. The individual wording, I'm not positive. But I know it was around that time and it was due to him.
And yeah, because what did it come off as odd that I kind of made that thing your little catchphrase? Because honestly, I saw your very first channel. Now the name is escaping me. Wow, I really need to do my research better. Yeah, I saw your first channel and I saw you do that video, and I think like your description was it's for a class somewhere. Like, and I was
Dr. Godpants?
Yeah, Dr. Godpants.
Yeah. And
The video I think you're thinking of was So You Want to Know Who Naka Is.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, why don't you have that as like your main video? I mean,
It
like,
was for a while.
oh, and then it just suddenly switched on to being just what it is.
Well, it's over time. I try to listen to what a lot of different people do and what the general best idea is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I kind of picked up from Total Halibut, or Total Biscuit, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
is he used to always have one specific video up as the main video on his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's since said that he if he changes the video around, it gets views on a lot of different things.
So it's more like for variety's sake then.
Yeah, for variety's sake, I guess kind of a way, it's kind of like a self-marketing, but I'm marketing within myself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get
Nope.
it. I get it. And so do you have anything to add to that, Ogre?
Not really.
Oh, well, if you were to come
That's
up with a catchphrase right here and now, what would it be?
Catchphrases are for weenies. And people want to be memorable
Oh, that works, I suppose.
and profit. On second thought, I should think of one now.
All right, we'll get to you probably near the end of the show, and we'll see if we've come up with one by then.
Yes, I mean, I did come up with that, and I put that video together. I was very proud of it at the time. As you mentioned, I actually made it for a class in college
Mm-hmm.
where I was supposed to tell a little bit about myself, and I didn't actually do it quite. I didn't actually fulfill the requirements of the class quite as well as I was supposed to, but the whole video had a really unique aesthetic to it. So despite that, everybody in the class loved it, and I think I still got a perfect score on it.
Nice.
But I was really proud of the video at the time. I put it up as the main video on my channel, and that was a number of years ago, though. And just over time, I just kind of feel that's been around for a little while now. I should probably update and put something else up, like one of my state of the channel addresses.
Mm-hmm. And actually, this is one of question that I actually have in mind. How did you and Elemental Ogre meet exactly? Because I know there are videos with you alone, obviously, like your Dot Hack series and your Bonk series. But when you do collabs, because honestly, I first came across you guys when I found your Super Mario Wii, the new Super Mario Brothers Wii,
A lot of people seem to find us through that.
and well, the question is so how did you two meet exactly? Because it seems to me that Ogre had no qualms whatsoever killing you whenever he could, and you and Silenoy, is that how you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Silenoy, were so desperate to either kill him or just run away. So basically, the question is, how did you two meet exactly?
Well, it's going back in the channel's history, the very first Let's Play that was ever posted on the channel was Kirby Superstar.
Mm-hmm.
And that was co-op between myself and Elemental Ogre. So even in the Let's Play scene, we've been together since the beginning. But that aside, we actually met back in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
A large number of years before we started Let's Playing. I mean, at this point, I think we've looked at the numbers and we've actually known each other longer than we haven't known each other.
And that's, of course, a sign of friendship, if you ask me.
Essentially over half our lives.
Yeah.
Just literally.
Mm.
So it's given us plenty of time to really adapt to each other and get to know each other and work together.
Mm-hmm.
So come the time we do a co-op Let's Play, we almost might as well be thinking as one person when it comes to that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of guy that wants to kill me off for laughs, but at the same time, and this is what I really like about working with him in that regard, is he's not doing it just to troll. He's actually doing it for laughs, and not just everybody else's laughs and his own laughs, but for my laughs as well.
I see. So
So he knows exactly how far to push me so that I'm still enjoying myself as well.
Mm-hmm. So in other words, he's that extra kick that he's that extra kick that, well, you don't really see in many co-ops, basically.
I guess you could say that.
All right, fair enough. So, of course, other than the obvious trolling issue that YouTube seems to be infested with, despite the many ban hammers that's been swung, what issues have you really run into? Like, in terms of, like, making your Let's Plays, like, I know time can be an issue, obviously, with your Persona 4. Meeting up and actual arranging is an issue, despite the fact that no one seems to understand that. So yeah, like, other than that, like, what issues like, have you really run into, basically?
I guess some of it is that I tend to think I handle criticism and the like pretty well, but at the same time, it's when you work on something very hard, when you put a lot of time and effort into it. Um, I, I, I I guess it's that little things bother me, but only because there are so many of them. Hey, got back quick that time.
Huzzah! Hooray for automatic quick recovery for the win. So yeah, as you were saying.
Yeah. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is on the internet, for
Mhm.
one, there's, especially in something like YouTube, when one person makes a comment, they seem to really only understand that they themselves made that comment. Whereas, especially in the volume of people that I deal with, the hundreds of comments that I have to weed my way through, it's I'll tend to read the same thing dozens of times over. So say you have a video where you make a silly mistake, you didn't notice something, very obvious thing right in the middle of the screen,
Mhm.
and that
Everyone
actually
jumps
goes
on you.
back to the old Let's Player curse, which I can say a word on.
Oh, I think we can all say something like that.
But it's in seeing this kind of thing. It'll even be while I'm editing the video. I'll look back at it and go, why did I not see that? Why did I not get that? And it's, oh well, it was all of 3 seconds of a 20-minute video. It shouldn't be that big a deal. And when you upload it, then it's like I can understand a couple of people seeing that and going, that's interesting. I should point that out.
Mhm.
And seeing that, it's no big deal really. But it's as I was mentioning before, it's the sheer volume of people. There we go.
You were saying?
Yeah, so I guess if I've encountered any real issues in that regard, it's really just the kind of issues that you run across anywhere on
Mhm.
the internet. It just comes with the territory of being on the internet.
I see. So basically, it's just small things like people continuously, I would say, like, what, bugging you about these small issues, or pretty much just it's pretty much just you saying, "Yeah, I got it. I don't need 10 million people saying it."
I guess you could say that, yeah.
If you see one comment, I understand, but 30 other ones that say the same damn thing, oh my god, people, stop.
It's, do you not see the 20 comments directly below yours that are all saying the exact same thing?
Apparently not, it seems. Well, what can you do?
Yeah, but there's that issue, which really that's your standard annoyance. That's the kind of thing you get anywhere on the internet. I'd say if I've encountered any real issues, it was recently I've been doing a lot of very lengthy games. I did the entire original Dot Hack quadrilogy. I did Toho Mother. I did Okami. All games that went on for a very long period of time. And just moments ago, I finished up Dot Hack GU Volume 2, with 3 at some point on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I've found with these very lengthy games is since they get a lot more involved, since they get a lot deeper, since I have to spend so much more time on the work end of things,
Mm-hmm.
that I actually, for the longest time, I was starting to think I didn't really enjoy making Let's Plays as much as I used to. And I eventually realized that no, I do still very much enjoy making videos. What it comes down to is I've done so many of this one kind of game. I haven't done any games that are fun, so to say.
So basically, like, you've been stuck in one genre and you want to branch out.
Yeah, and I used to back in the day, and through one reason or another, I've gotten stuck in this kind of rut of doing.
RPGs continuously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can sort of see that because like, but I think the one reason why people like you doing RPGs so much, well, as like a review story, it's, I guess that's what gets people because
I don't have much other choice. Anything about anything I know about.
Despite what the internet says.
Yeah, despite what everyone on the internet seems to think.
Well, yeah, because if anything, I admittedly did not know jack about the dot hacks in any way, shape, or form.
The hell's Persona 4?
Thing of which you speak.
I've been
But-
keeping up with that since I heard first. I think the
Yeah,
whole series is going to be cut out.
existing persona.
Persona 3 Trinity Soul.
Yes, not many people know about that.
Yeah, it was like set 10 years after Persona 3.
Yeah. So, what did you think of that one?
Never saw it.
It was just like your basic stereotypical show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm.
I don't think they even brought any of the characters from the game back for that.
They brought, I'm not sure. Well, I did know they brought back Akihiko from Persona 3, and I think they also brought back Ken. I'm not sure. Well, that's Persona 3. Ooh, oh, moving on. So here's a question for you, Ogre. When you first started you making your YouTube, when you started on YouTube, like, okay,
If you're gonna ask why I made my channel, I can tell you it's a pretty stupid but simple question.
Okay, I was trying to word that nicely, but sure, take it.
I was watching Kaneko Man videos and somebody flagged one, and then I made my video, and then I made my channel so I could watch it. And it was worth it because it was when Ramen Man broke Brocken Man in half with his camel clutch.
Ooh.
Oh, was there actually a video of him getting broken in half? I thought there was just the video.
There's a game, it's kind of like Mugen, called Muscle Fight.
Oh, I know
Main
that one.
characters.
Mm.
And they basically showed that version where Ramen Man breaks Brocken Man in half with the camel clutch.
Yeah, I thought there was just the one video of him
That
turning
video
him
got
into food
back,
and
I was
eating him.
like, screw this, I'm making an account so I can make this, so I can watch this. And then I did, and that's why I have a channel. Because Kaneko Man made me do it.
Yeah, so everything is Kaneko Man's fault?
Pretty much. I had a hot chocolate addiction here lately, and it's all because of Kaneko Man advertising hot chocolate early in the series. Not even kidding about that.
Alright. And now, like, this is my time let's try taking a little more serious territory. What would you consider your greatest weakness, your greatest strength, and how would you actually use your strength to cover up said weakness?
Oh, that one's going to take a little bit of thinking.
I think mine is just pretty simple. I try to stay well too organized, to be honest, because I will time the shit out of you on everything. Like, when I expect you to be here at 4 o'clock, I expect you, like, with maybe 5 minutes lateness. Other than that, you're just, like, wasting my time. It's like, it's 4:15. I told him to here at 4. Fired now.
And then, so
And it doesn't help because I'm always late.
Nope.
so it was a good thing I sent you that half-hour early poke.
Yeah, pretty much. He has no punctuality.
Well, actually, the very first time, for first impressions, I always show up early.
Mm-hmm.
It's settled in, it starts to lax, and that's a fault of me.
So,
Comments.
mm-hmm.
Hey, people actually enjoy. So it's is both my.
So basically, it sounds delightful. Of all
Let's see
time.
here.
Transcending all systems, space, and whatever I can think of.
I can
Okay.
put the Dragon Quest series at top for me. There's no ifs and...
lead-in joke. According
So what was I considering? Yeah.
like 1 to 5, I think it's very difficult to say one game is completely better than another game. But I can certainly say a number of games that the Newtopia I think is one of the better games going. I'm obviously a big fan of the Metroid to death, where that game really on the ball.
Female sign. Okay. The question is, do you have anyone special in your right to...
Even through the year 1 or 2 worked out in the end. Someone right now, I won't mention her name in stream.
Well, of course,
But,
if you were, I would have stopped you, but...
Yeah, I am involved with someone.
And Ogre, any comment?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, and actually, I should have asked this earlier. You know how you said sometimes, like, they're just things that just stress you out, especially when it comes to managing a YouTube channel? So I know the easy way is to just rage quit, as they say nowadays. And since, like, you obviously don't, you prove that you're a stronger
No, I don't rage quit. I flip the table and then uppercut my opponent. It's an actual move and go. I am not even kidding. It's literally you throw the table at the wall so it dents the wall and then you uppercut your opponent.
Nice.
It's like the greatest way to rage quit anything.
So, anyways, as I was saying, you're obviously like a stronger person for not letting all the trolls or all the negativity get to you. And actually, this is someone wanted me to ask me personally, a friend of mine. They want to know just how exactly you put up with them, because obviously you don't respond to them like some other people I know do, or you just pretty much ignore them, or you read them, or what? Let's hear it from the master himself.
No, it's a couple things really, because a lot of what bothers me isn't actual trolls. I mean, I do get an honest-to-goodness troll hit the channel every now and then, but to be honest, trolls really aren't that difficult to deal with. And the reason for that is, first and foremost, they are trolls. Their sole purpose isn't to have an opinion different than yours. Their sole purpose isn't to make you... or their sole purpose isn't to force their opinion on you. More often than not, an honest-to-goodness troll doesn't even believe what they're saying themselves. All they want is a good fight. And so really the best way to deal with a troll is don't give them that fight.
So basically ignore the attention whore.
I mean, if they come out and say something that's just outright insulting, deflect it. The best option is to just not respond to it at all. They'll usually leave the one comment with the intention of starting an argument, starting a fight. And if you just don't touch it, then they leave because they're not getting what they came there for. On my channel, though, with the number of viewers I have, more often than not, I get people coming in and joining the fight for me.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to ask to compound that if you didn't mention it. What do you think of these people who find it that it is their right to defend you in everything that you do, whether you be right or wrong? And you know you're in the wrong sometimes.
Yeah, it's general white knighting. It happens everywhere on the internet, really. I mean, I guess I'm flattered that someone would actually do it in the first place. But at the same time, it doesn't really accomplish anything.
I see. So
because the person they're arguing with, so to say, is going to have... It is probably going to be one of two people. They're either going to be an honest-to-goodness troll, at which point arguing with them is the complete wrong thing to do.
Right.
With an honest-to-goodness troll, what you want to do is ignore them, If you have to comment, find a way to deflect the argument instead of just arguing back at them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they just don't leave you alone, just block them.
Fair enough.
But that's how to deal with an honest-to-goodness troll. And if a white knight shows up, the white knight is really just going to argue, and that's exactly what the troll wants.
Right.
But that said, there is, of course, that, and then there's honest-to-goodness criticism. It's not someone being mean, being insultive. It's just someone says, hey, I don't like the way this part of the video worked. I think it would work better if you did this instead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of thing that, again, a white knight really isn't helping. Because if the white knight then is completely defending what I'm doing, when what I'm doing may in fact be flawed.
Right.
And what I need to do is hear this, listen to this argument, decide for myself whether or not I think it's a good idea to take this criticism and use it or ignore the criticism. It's a decision that I need to make myself.
I see.
Blindly disregarding it is,
A recipe for disaster in your mind?
so to say, yes.
Mm-hmm. And Ogre, do you have anything to compound this?
Pretty much what he said. There's no point in feeding the troll attention that he wants. Just ignore them and they'll go away. And it's nice that people want to defend, but
So then,
don't throw somebody up to godhood when they don't really deserve it in the first place.
so then I guess this ultimately leads to this question. When someone tries to also this speak, can't speak today. Basically, you know how there are some people who always have the undying urge to say, "Oh, I'm the first person here," and then of course that starts the whole flame thing or whatever the kids call it these days. So basically, what did you think of that specific YouTube feature, the whole like-dislike? Because, as you know, there are some times when YouTube itself will just completely remove a comment for saying this comment has has too many dislikes or something like that. So, what's your general opinion on that? Or in YouTube in general with its sometimes apparent glitches? Hello? You there? Say something, please, if you can. Or not. That works too. Hello? Are we good?
Yes, we are.
Huzzah!
Nope.
Because, it's because I have the song from Persona 4 called Who's There? You know that chilling moment? The chilling song that plays when the Midnight Channel comes on? I have that playing every time it shuts off, for whatever reason. So yeah, what were you saying, Naka, before we got rudely interrupted?
Well, a quick word on the white knighting, though, is it's like though I did say white knighting is generally bad, some good things do come from that kind of thing. One thing I do very much like is occasionally on the I shouldn't say occasionally, quite often in the comments, I get questions that are either very obvious or have been answered a dozen times. The kind of thing that would actually maybe grate on my nerves after enough time of me going, I've answered this 4 dozen times, why do I have to answer it again? And it's in this case a lot of the time, and I'm very thankful for this, a lot of the time the viewers will come by and respond to that and answer it for me. And I'm very thankful for that. So yeah, if someone asks a question, even if they're asking it of me, if you know the answer, go ahead and answer them, because maybe I'm not quite in the mood to answer right then.
Which is understandable. I mean, So, what, in your opinion, what is your favorite LP that you've done as of this moment? And then what is, looking back, like the one you look it over and say, that probably wasn't my best?
Ah,
The best we can't answer now, but the worst is probably a toss-up between Kirby Superstar for being old and New Super Mario Bros. Wii for being, I hate you, I will murder you in the night now.
and Lost Vikings for much the same reason.
Well, we got better at the end, but, it still had that kind of irksome, I will fly over to England just to rip out your eyes if I can. I will waste the money.
Yeah, it's looking
America,
at
bitch.
yeah, it's looking at the Let's Plays we've done. I've really only and Gungrave Overdose.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 4 Let's Plays that I really don't like. Kirby Superstar, as Ogre mentioned. A lot of the trouble with Kirby Superstar, it was handled well, the humor was done well. It was handled well. It's just really old and dated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the main reason. If we had like proper visuals up for it instead, if we had decent quality sound, I'd probably be a lot happier with it.
Mm-hmm.
Next in line then was Lost Vikings, which I guess the thing with Lost Vikings for me was
The editing.
Yeah, for one, it was a real pain to record and edit. Because going over...
Don't even forget me started on the internet delay that cost him so many jumps with Eric.
Oh, heavens. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so the recording and editing was a huge hassle. The audio would desync. I'd have to resync it, then mix it all together. We'd have to deal with, since we were playing with Raven, who lives over in England, there was a lot of button delay.
Ooh.
And me playing as Eric the Swift, who runs and jumps and does very precise platforming, with like a full second button delay, his playing as him was almost impossible.
So, to summarize, the first two, not really well liked due to tech issues.
Yeah, it was, I like to think, if not for the tech issues, I think Lost Vikings probably would have gone a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, as things were, I was not enjoying myself playing it.
All right.
Yeah, then moving up to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, with which there were a couple issues with that one. There was one minor editing issue, but I think the biggest issue was simply the nature of the game.
The nature of the game?
Yeah, the one small tech issue
Mm-hmm.
was that Silenoy's mic was that really sensitive.
Yeah,
It wasn't
wireless.
It wasn't the same mic that Ogre and myself were using, and we actually had to hook it to my computer in a completely different way than Ogre and my mic.
Because I was wondering why there was such a reverb in like the first couple of episodes. Then it kind of died down, and then it kind of jumped back in again. I thought that was just like something you guys had intended to do. Because I don't know, I liked it.
That was entirely because Silenoy's mic was hooked up in a completely different way than ours.
Mm-hmm.
It was a completely different mic, and it was a lot more sensitive than ours, so it picked up everything. And it didn't run completely in sync with everything. As long as her audio was synced up with the video, there wasn't much in the way of reverb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was as the videos went on, we kind of hammered out the details, so near the end of the game, it wasn't nearly as bad as it was at the beginning.
I see.
But it was still kind of a major issue. And again, the same kind of irksome 100,000 people in the comments going, "There's an echo. Why is there an echo? Did you know there's an echo?" Yes, I know there's an echo.
I personally like the echo effect, but that's just me.
So that was the minor tech issue, though. That worked itself out in the end and really isn't the reason that I'm not terribly fond of it.
Mm-hmm.
The main reason I'm not terribly fond of that one is it's the nature of the game. It's said New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the game that will break up families.
And they weren't kidding, especially.
It's like you will murder your brother by the end of this game. And it's by the end of it, it's because New Super Mario Bros. Wii, they say it's a co-op game, but no, it's not a co-op game. It's a single-player game with a friend murdering option.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever came up with that concept of, oh, hey, we're going to have 4 players run on the same screen, despite the fact, oh, hey, the screen has to follow whoever is up front, and it'll drag behind. Yeah, let's just have people kill each other unintentionally because, we're awesome like that.
Yeah, and just if you want to sit down and goof around with the game.
That's different.
Yeah, if you've got a number of levels open, you just want to sit down with a couple friends, play through one level, and just have fun, beat the tar out of each other, then it's great fun. But the game was clearly not intended for a group of people to play beginning to end, trying to succeed at the game.
But hey, you guys did it rather admirably.
And wasn't fun though.
Okay.
I remember, especially near the end of the game, it's as the worlds went on, we lost our jovial nature more and more as the game went on.
So was that in any way portraying the fact of you suddenly dying by the gas chamber, or I think it was...
Oh no, that was just the joke from the previous video when the police came for us, the internet police came for us.
Oh. So
a lot of people seem to miss that one.
Really? How do you miss something like that?
Yeah, but there was the one video we ended with the internet police coming at us, and then we started out the next one with Ogre and Silenoy speaking about their time in internet jail and the like, and how I got the internet gas chamber.
But yeah, I don't know how people miss a joke like that. But okay, this is one thing I have to know. How close were you, Ogre, or Naka, or perhaps Silenoy? How close were you to just, waiting till the dead of night, going to the next person's bed, and then just slitting their throat open?
Oh, we got pretty close.
Indeed.
In fact, I remember at one point, we all came over, we all set up for recording, we're all in good spirits, and I started off the recording saying, it's like, okay, hey guys, this is we're near the end of the game. We were all happy and fun-loving at the beginning of the game, and we're just all sour and miserable now. I want to start this with a fresh start with this level. I want us to just go in, have fun, no worries. And we all kind of started it out in high spirits, like, okay, we'll give it a go. This level, we'll do this, we'll have fun. And we finished one level before we all stopped and said, dude, we're just not recording anymore right now. I will murder someone if we record anymore right now. So we got one level recorded that day.
And I'm assuming that was scrapped, or...
Oh, no, we recorded it. We put up a good face.
Oh, okay.
But it's like the second the recording's over, it's just murder!
Later, bitches, I'll be in my trailer.
So basically, it was a good... So basically, this is just coming off from assumption. Basically, had you guys been living together, would there have been a police report the next day? Or a sudden bizarre murder case?
I don't really think so, just because we were all fairly aware that it was the levels killing us, not each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe I would die because of something Ogre or Silenoy would do, but I understood that though I died technically because of them, it wasn't because they were just trying to murder me. It's because the game was... Yeah.
All right. And the last one you mentioned was rather interesting. Gungrave Overdose? Really?
Gungrave Overdose, yes. The first Gungrave game we enjoyed to no end. Great game. Gungrave Overdose, we wanted to tackle the same way as the first game. We'd trade off a stage going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And there were so many issues with the difficulty of the game. Mm-hmm. There were it was like by the end of the game, that there was a really, really bad difficulty curve. In that, like, oh, stage 4, we're going to put the hardest boss in the game at stage 4.
I hated that boss.
And then stage 5 is going to be ridiculously stupid easy. That's not a difficulty curve. That's just and the odd thing was also the curve, because I don't think the difficulty was handled well.
Mm-hmm.
Because just something being hard, I don't have problems with. And I can just write it off as, all right, it's hard. I'll buy that.
Mm-hmm.
It's that the game felt like a cheap difficulty.
So as in cheap difficulty, as in, oh hey, like you're just running along and all of a sudden, oh hey, you're dead, or is it you're walking along and all of a sudden you fall through the floor, kind of
Well,
difficulty?
think about it this way. A game that I've played not terribly long ago and enjoyed greatly when I did was Castlevania: Order of Ecclesia.
Nice.
And playing through that game, I really did enjoy it. But at the same time, the game was very difficult.
Right.
The nice thing about the difficulty, though, was that when you died or when you failed, it felt like it was your fault.
Right.
And it felt like, well, I died, I understand that, but that's because I messed up. So I have to do this again, and I know not to mess up this time, or I have to try not to mess up this time.
Right.
What I mean kind of by the difficulty in Gungrave Overdose is it didn't feel like it was your fault.
So it would be like just a random enemy that you can't see in your field of vision just sniping you and then, oh hey, you're dead. That kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like it felt like there is nothing that I have built up in my skill set that would allow me to deal with this.
I see.
It's like, oh, the controls are weird, the camera's weird. Why can't I just run this way? Why am I pinned against the wall for 20 minutes?
Oh, I can see how that would get annoying quick. But yeah. Oh hey, we got
And
another.
it's I think the difficulty curve, and I do say I use the word curve loosely. It was more of a wave. But I think some of it was also worse because then if the whole game were like that, then I could just chalk it up for, okay, this is just kind of the way the game is. It's that the game started very easy. And I mean, I understand a game should start easy, but it shouldn't start that easy.
Well,
You should at least it should feel like a logical progression of difficulty.
uh-huh.
And it didn't. It really just felt like they didn't know how to handle the difficulty.
Well,
And then you'd get some odd bit later on where it's, well, that last whole level you went through was the most nightmarish thing you've ever gone through. Now have a stage that you can like sleep through.
I get you.
Combined with an enemy like near the end that pins you against the wall, and then like 20 guys jump out of the room and shoot you while you're pinned and kill you.
Oh wow.
I mean, it really just felt like the difficulty.
Was just unfair.
Yeah. To the point that by the end of the game, I was actually raging to the extent that of all the Let's Plays on my channel, personally, I think that one is the most embarrassing. I actually did a video of I kind of did a post-game video of it where I kind of mentioned I almost want to just delete this whole Let's Play.
Ooh. It got that bad?
I mean, just because, I mean, I don't really have any other option. I don't think we handled it great. I don't think we handled it well. Just, in the end, I just didn't.
It just wasn't working for you anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't working. Then a lot of people, though, said, no, keep it. So it's still up, but...
Well, you obviously have, as we all know, a lot of kids love watching people fail over and over and over again. I mean, who doesn't every now and then, right?
Well, I can actually say a word on that one.
By all means, go ahead.
which the thing about watching someone fail over and over and over again is a lot of people say that they very much
Walmart, I forgot about that.
I heard that sound. I'm thinking, what is he doing over there?
You there?
All right, I think we're back.
Hooray!
Hooray.
But
And the crowd goes wild.
Yay.
So, anyways, you were saying before we got interrupted?
And people say they like seeing people fail and then get really angry about it. That's not really true for the most part. Of course, somebody out there enjoys it, but it's not actually true for the most part. And the reason for that is if you've ever seen someone that's genuinely angry, it's not funny. It's actually uncomfortable.
Almost to the point where it gets awkward for you?
Yeah, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you don't feel right watching it. To all the videos out there like Azure Blade, Proton John, ROM hack videos, good ROM hack videos, when they're failing and they're getting quote unquote angry at it, to be honest, that's for the most part an act. They are still enjoying what they're doing. Maybe they're getting a little bit frustrated, but they're expressing that frustration in that fun way because they are still enjoying themselves to a degree.
True.
And that kind of thing people love. But people also often mistake that for being genuinely angry when it's not the case.
Basically,
Now,
it goes goes to what you say as live it. It goes to what you're saying as be an entertainer, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's when I get genuinely angry, as I did near the end of Gungrave Overdose, that's not funny to watch. That's not entertaining to watch. That's uncomfortable.
Despite the fact what most kids will say.
Yeah. But on that note, though, you asked not only for the, though we kind of harped on the 5 that we didn't like, you asked for some of our favorite Let's Plays. So, moving up from the bowels of our Let's Play career, speaking about some of the things that I think we've really enjoyed, personally, I think I enjoy a lot of the games that I just enjoy playing on my own. Games like Bunny Must Die, for one. I love Bunny Must Die to death. I love that game. So doing the Let's Play of it, I really enjoyed, especially since I was actually talking to someone who was translating the game.
Really?
And she, I think it was a she, anyway, was, she was actually translating the videos on her own channel. And because I messaged her about it, I actually got her to go back and finish her translation, which I then used and put up annotations on my video since I was playing the Japanese version. This is before there was an official English patch.
Right.
And I was playing the Japanese version. I put annotations up of the English from her videos. And I think that was really nice because it felt like I actually did something. Yeah, there was that one that I really enjoyed. The original Katamari Damacy.
Right.
I really enjoyed. And I think what I liked about that one was the audience participation.
The one how people could get to vote in and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in We Love Katamari now. I'm doing this through the forum voting.
Right.
Which it seems it's a lot less personal. So I'm not really getting that same everybody's in this together kind of feel.
Right.
But people can still vote. But with the sheer number of people that would be voting, I can't bring myself to do it anymore.
I see. So,
during my 10,000 subscriber special, I counted all the votes for the game choice thing. And by the end of counting all the votes and writing everything down, I had gone cross-eyed and blind.
There was just that many.
I just couldn't, I can't do that again. But the original Katamari Damacy, it was before I was still terribly popular.
terribly popular?
Well, it was before I was too. It was before I was really popular.
Oh, I was gonna say like you say it as if like you're glad to be popular, but at the same time it's almost like a curse.
It is kinda.
Oh.
But that aside, I liked that one because I was still getting enough. I was getting the number of comments that I was getting was something that I could count.
hmm
So I'm going to sit down and record, and I can read through the comments and see. All right, everybody wants me to go to this area, and so I really like the audience participation in that one.
Oh, I see.
That aside, I think some of the other games I've really enjoyed are just kind of a lot of the simple little dumb games we do.
Like
Like
Metal Slug, for example.
yeah, like the games that we can just sit down and goof off and have a blast during without worry. Games like the Metal Slug game we did, Kaizo Chojin Shubibin Man Zero was great fun.
Oh my god, somebody actually pronounced that correctly.
You sound so amazed.
I am very amazed.
Oh, here we go. We got someone else asking something that I had asked you earlier, but oh, hang on. Now they're asking, what do you think about the Mayonaka Arena area that's in the works?
Well, the fighting game,
Yeah.
interesting, but I really want to know the story behind that before I can get any good idea.
Mm. And
Because all I know is that Teddy starts a fighting match and everybody decides to check out what's going on, and
yeah,
that's pretty much it. So it's like I need to know a little more before I go.
get into it.
Yay! Yeah.
And what I want to know is, why is Teddy dressed like Bison?
I don't know.
Hey.
I'm assuming he's taken over by something evil.
And you do know it's by like the same guys who made Blaze Blue and whatnot, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if anything, the only thing I want to know is why Teddy's dressed like Bison. That's the only thing I want to know. Because like when I first saw the ad, it's like, this is what I'm thinking: either A, Teddy got into cosplaying, or B, the spirit of General Bison possessed him. Or what? Hello?
Put together.
Uh,
Oh, hey, I think we're back.
Hey, there we go. I heard. You just gotta love the internet and in all its glory.
Yep,
In all its glory.
yep.
Isn't it a wonderful, wonderful thing?
Yeah, I have a degree in computer science. I know how to program. I know how a computer works. I know how everything works and gets put together. And to be honest, I still think the internet is run by black magic.
Well played, well played.
That's the only sense it makes for me.
Oh, and here's a question. How did you guys get involved with Moonhawk Studios? Or the
That's actually a fairly simple question, or a simple answer, really.
Mhm.
It was Adam Shard Shinjuku came to me and asked if I wanted to be on the show as a guest.
Mhm.
So showed up, we had our interview, great times were had, and just at the end of the interview, I kept saying, I mean, I really just wanted to leave a good impression. I had fun while I was there, so I kept saying, it's like, yeah, and if you ever want to have us back on the show, we're happy to come back. And Adam then kind of came back to me and said, it's like, well, do you want to be on the show then?
And which of course you accepted,
It's like,
obviously.
it's like, okay then. So now we're on the show.
And all is well. Right?
Yeah, that's really about all the more story there is to that one.
And this one actually goes to Ogre. Well, since I was asked why you started your own channel, do you have any plans on making Let's Plays of your own?
Nope. It's not my thing, to be honest. There's the only reason I do anything with Naka like this is because the fact that we work well together.
Mm-hmm.
Our humor bounces off each other easily, so it's not like it's not like I'm hilarious 24/7 with or without Naka. It's just you get me without Naka, and I'm just kind of, I'm just there.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm much the same way. It was
Also, I hate editing, so that's not happening.
yeah, to be honest though, I'm much the same way. When we first started Let's Playing, I didn't want to start on my own,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I grabbed Ogre for the very first Let's Play, but I also kind of wanted to update daily. Because that was back in the day when Deceased Crab was still updating daily, and I took a lot of my early inspiration from him.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, though, and because Ogre and myself couldn't get together on a daily basis to record,
Mm-hmm.
I knew there'd be a time when I ran out of videos, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And I was still gung-ho about getting into Let's Plays and doing this thing, so I'll give it a go myself. But to be honest, I really didn't work all that well on my own. We really only shined when we were working together.
I see. I see.
And I guess if I can do anything on my own now, it's only because I've been forcing myself to for like 3 years. And after that many years of forcing yourself to do something you're bad at, eventually you'll find somebody that likes it for being as bad as it is.
And oh, here's another one. Someone wanted to an anon male. What? Okay. And these people come up with really interesting Facebook names.
It's an anonymous dude.
Yeah, they want to know your nationalities. Like, what nationality are you guys?
I'm transparent.
Okay.
I'm white. Not quite as transparent as Ogre.
Ay, ay, ay.
Looking at it, I think you can. I think my father's side of the family has been in the States for a really long time. Pretty generically stateside people, though. I think if you go back far enough, you can eventually trace his side to Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, on the other hand, is actually Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
The odd thing is, you wouldn't guess it by looking at her, but she is 100% Puerto Rican, making me half Puerto Rican. And if you look at me, I don't look it. Our family looks like your average white family.
That just goes to show you can't judge things by sight alone.
Yeah, so it's an odd thing when I go down to Florida to visit my grandparents, because it's this whole group of Puerto Rican people all speaking Spanish constantly. It's like, since when was this part of my family?
Oh boy, oh boy. So another question that, actually no, this one's a common theme. Okay, seriously, guys, those of you listening, stop asking about the Persona 4 anime and the Persona game. I already asked that. Please stop. Okay, let's find something interesting.
See, that's the kind of thing I have to deal with always.
Yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
And if you ever catch me in a bad mood, it's because I just finished dealing with that.
Oh, here's one. What was your favorite system growing up?
Let's see.
Nintendo. I really can't pick a system. It's like I grew up with the NES and then made the leap to the 64 and then some Super NES stuff and then the GameCube and then the Wii, and it's just pretty much I've been Nintendo since forever, but doesn't mean I don't care for any other systems. I mean, I like the PlayStation was pretty much out there.
Mm-hmm.
Was pretty good, mostly because the fact that, unlike Nintendo, it wasn't afraid to publish stuff that probably would have caught a lot of people's ire, which is kind of something I'd like, is the fact that you're willing to take that chance of like, we're going to say something controversial in most people's eyes, but we're still going to stick by it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay, and you, Naka?
Yeah, my father was a gamer before I was. He had three systems early on. He had the NES, which he started with, and later on he got the TurboGrafx and the Genesis. He never got as big into the Genesis or the NES,
Mm-hmm.
but the one system that I really grew up on when I was just a wee lad was the TurboGrafx,
I see.
which is why you'll see me eventually do a Let's Play of a TurboGrafx game, and every one, this is a game from my youth. Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge, R-Type, Psychosis, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones. It's all the crap that I grew up playing. And the Newtopia games. And I loved that. I really did love that system. It's a shame it didn't really end up going much anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where I started. From there, it was... I kind of played on every system.
Mm-hmm.
The first system that I really got that was my own was the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
But then following that, I got a PlayStation. I was never really big, or got a PlayStation, I got a Dreamcast. I'd say I've kind of hovered around all the different consoles, but the one that I've always been a fan of from the start is Nintendo.
Okay.
I've always been a Nintendo guy, bar the TurboGrafx. I would totally be a TurboGrafx guy if it was still around.
So you never really gave much attention, like, to Sega and whatnot?
To Sega, well, as I said, we did have a Genesis. I played a number of games on the Genesis, but I never got too horribly big into it.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Dreamcast when that came out. Played a good few games on that, but I don't have the largest library in the world. I've since gone back and got a Sega Saturn, a 32X, but these are all things that I'm picking up well after the fact for like a choice few games. I think the entire reason I got a Sega Saturn was for there's one game that I got it for, and it was this one vertical shooter that was really neat.
Was it Ikaruga? If I'm thinking it, if I'm thinking
No,
right?
it was yeah, I completely forget what it was called.
Hmm.
It was there was one of my State of the Channel addresses I played the game during.
Oh, okay. Was it
I
that puzzle game?
It wasn't the puzzle game, it was a vertical shooter.
Oh.
But yeah, the puzzle game, Magical Drop 3. That game, when did I first hear that game? I really like Magical Drop 3, but I have no idea why I started liking it.
Hmm.
Because I don't think I've ever really had a genuine chance to play it. I think it was on an arcade emulator that I first played it. That aside. And, to the question at hand, I bounced back and forth between a couple systems. I kind of dabbled in a lot of them, but Nintendo was the one that always really had my heart and soul.
As it did at most kid on my block.
Yeah, I did have a lot of PlayStation 2 games. I did delve pretty well into the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
I think right around the PS2 era, I was more a PlayStation guy than a Nintendo guy. But
Mm.
soon as the third generation of, or the, not third generation, soon as the latest generation of consoles came out, I was right back into Nintendo.
Mm.
Because I've always been loyal to Nintendo at heart.
And here's one question by one Gerardo Salgado. Apologies if I butchered that. Here's one for both you guys. If you guys had one wish, what would it be? Okay, that's an awkward.
Multiple wishes.
So your wish would be for multiple wishes, okay?
And then we're going from there. We'll address that part later.
You'll address it once you get there. Oh, here's one actually coming from me. Obviously you mentioned your great dislike for the Kingdom Hearts series in one of your Moonhawk streams. Bearing aside the fact that it combined the bright, wonderful colors of Disney with the, dark, depressing, emo-like stories of Final Fantasy, what was the one of the irked you about it?
Organization 13, I can tell you that right off the bat.
Yep.
So that
Yeah,
whole
the
Like, there's
first
pretty
Kingdom
much
Hearts.
no need for conversation afterward. It's Organization 13, and that's that.
so
Yeah,
just
it's
that
the
one
first
plot.
Kingdom. Go ahead.
So basically, it's just that one little plot point that just threw it off, or did it even go before that point?
Well, for me, the first Kingdom Hearts game I played through, and it wasn't the gift from God that everybody made it out to be, but it was an all right game.
Hmm.
The second Kingdom Hearts 2, though, uh, I'd say I'd say Organization 13 is the best representation of the underlying issue,
Hmm.
which the underlying issue is.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Again, don't you love technical hiccups?
So, how's the weather?
It's just great. It's
Cold
pouring.
and rainy.
Hey, I love that kind of weather.
I'm ready for summer again.
I like the weather, but it kind of sucks when you have to put on long pants and then a day later it's 80 degrees outside.
You mean like schizophrenic weather?
Yeah,
Yep.
schizophrenic weather.
Yeah, that
would
weather
be-
can go die in a fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, what were you saying before we got cut off again?
Okay, it's a lot of. I think a lot of the issues started with Kingdom Hearts 2 for me,
Mm-hmm.
anyway. And it was just this kind of overall kind of angsty emo feel to the story,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Which
still that.
Japan seems to love for some unknown reason. Which
But
somebody
it's
needs to cheer that country up.
yeah, but it's not just the angsty feeling; it's that you have a character like Riku, who's it's like, oh, look how dark and mysterious and angsty and emo I am, yet I'm still like really powerful and awesome. Love me.
And of course, the fangirls love him for it.
Yeah, and it's that kind of thing. It grates on my nerves. It's a character type that I hate. I hate seeing that kind of thing in any game. And I think between Riku and Organization 13, Kingdom Hearts 2 had that in spades, that it kind of became that kind of game.
Oh, okay. So basically, it's just like a whole cheer up emo kid kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, look, I get the idea you're tempted by the darkness, you're worried.
Which is
Look,
strange because Sora was pretty upbeat about everything.
Well, he has to be. He's like the what? Symbol of light or whatever, I think it was.
yeah, and I actually kind of liked the first game because none of that was really an issue in the first game.
Which,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you could take this whole thing and apply it to the recent kind of almost the repackaging of Final Fantasy VII and everything, where Cloud is decidedly suddenly the most wangstiest person ever in Final Fantasy history.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Final Fantasy VII, this is something I have to bring up like every time this is brought up.
When Wangst is brought up, Cloud is brought up in our conversations.
But the whole thing is, if you actually go back and play Final Fantasy VII, Cloud wasn't angsty. He
was
wasn't
just
emo, he wasn't
silent,
angsty.
basically. He was basically a guy of few words. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
He was of few words. He was a loner. He didn't like messing with other people, but he wasn't angsty.
Mm.
If he ever got upset about anything,
It's
like
like
the
you
whole
got.
point is you
Oh,
got
he's
the
back.
freaking cockademons floating
He's back.
around and
We're back.
Yeah.
hey,
Hi. Don't you just love it when the internet decides to have a hiccup?
hooray, internet.
Ugh.
No, the one thing I like is when I'm right behind a staircase and all of a sudden I feel a pushing motion. And the last thing I see is, damn you, Skywarp.
Oh
The
boy.
last thing you see before you tumble down the stairs.
So again, to anyone who's listening in, and I have to say this right now,
Oops.
I apologize to all of the technical issues we've been having. I know for a tech school, we seem to be having a lot of those. And to you two, I actually want to thank you for sticking out with me for this long.
I think that's the very definition of irony, isn't it?
What? That we're a tech school?
Is that a tech school is having technical issues?
Ha ha. But yeah.
Don't set me up if you don't want the joke.
Well, I know I was basically walking into that one. So, and I'm actually intruding on someone else's time period, but they're late, so that's their fault. So yeah, those of you who actually,
Not my problem.
yeah,
He's late.
basically, to those of you who want, who are just tuning in right now and are just wondering what the hell we're talking about, you can find copies of the show on. I'm assuming you're going to post it on your channel, Naka.
I'm not recording it myself, so if there's a way for me to get it, then
Well, yeah, I've been ripping up this entire. I've had a stream ripper going, so yeah.
okay, that'd be interesting to do.
So if anything, there will be a lot of due to the.
Knee.
Ooh, you okay?
Oh, I bust my knee on my desk all the time.
Oh, did it hit like the fish belly at the bottom of the kneecap?
No, it hit the side part.
Okay, that's not so bad.
But yeah, with all like the internet hiccups we've been having, I'm gonna have to chop this thing up to bits and see if we can even get this thing working.
Eh. Oh well, do what you can.
Yeah, and you'll find it also here on the Facebook page if you are so inclined to, find my Facebook page and like it for some reason. But yeah.
I linked to that in my video too.
So let's see. Due to the hiccup, literally had to close down my computer and restart it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, you just gotta love that. Yeah. Oh, here we go. I think we got a question. Oh, it's the same guy, Gerardo Salgado, who asked if you had to have any wish, and he said, accept more wishes. What else would you wish for?
Dang.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You already rung the bell.
And
You can't make up rules after the game is started.
fair enough. So basically, my question to you now would be, would you guys be interested on coming back in?
Yeah, sure.
Like, I'll probably call you like every other week. Is that okay?
Well, I have no idea what my schedule is like. I have no idea what's going to happen, but,
Well, basically, just to conform to your schedule.
yeah. And seeing as we are already regularly part of Moonhawk Studios Presents, another podcast out there.
Which I'll post a link to on my Facebook or on my channel. Go ahead.
With that, I don't know if we'd quite be ready to pick up a really regular routine, but I'd certainly be willing to come back.
Mm-hmm. And you, Ogre?
If it's good with him, it's good with me.
All right, awesome. Maybe next time, like, I'll have a Pepsi or something to give you guys. That is if you like Pepsi.
I enjoy Pepsi,
So,
but I enjoy RC better. But that's just me.
Oh,
Royal Crown Cola.
oh dear.
Don't know why. It's just sweeter for me.
And it seems like our friend Salgado here is now just saying, I just did deal with it. Oh dear, I think I know what I'm up against now.
I can't deal with it right now.
And so, as an aside, do you have like any announcements that you yourself would like to make, Naka? Ogre, or anything?
Let's see here. Well, we've been talking largely about Let's Plays, but I guess I'll kind of chime in and say I actually do other things other than just Let's Plays. Though Let's Plays,
Drawing.
that's largely what I do. Recently, I've been doing some drawing over on DeviantArt,
I'll post.
doing some drawing to me programming a game, because I actually do some programming in my free time as well, when I have free time to program.
And yeah,
there's
weren't you
two.
making
There's
a Katamari game?
Yeah, there's two main things I'm working on right now. There's kind of an official game, which is currently under the working title Project Welgaia, until I come up with an actual name for it. And that's a game that I've been working on for a number of years, as off and on as kind of my pet project I'd like to finish and actually sell at some point. But right now what I've been working on is just a very simple Katamari game. I want to work it like a Katamari RPG, where you roll up enemies. As you gain size, you're technically gaining experience. If you gain enough, you level up and the Katamari gets bigger. And then you can go roll up big. Hey!
And we're back again, once more.
Okay, since I kept talking, what was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was about your Katamari game, how it was something done on your free time.
Yeah, the Katamari game, it's very much so a little pet project. The idea is to function kind of like a Katamari RPG, almost, where when you roll up guys, you gain size, but size kind of works like experience points.
Mm-hmm.
So the more things you roll up, the bigger you are, and when you get to a certain size, you level up and then can go roll up more things. It's just kind of a simple little pet project, just nothing terribly fancy. I'm just going to make a couple short stages for it and then give the thing out for free when I'm done. Just something I'm doing for fun.
And well, I am almost sad. I'm quite sad to say this, but the dark hour must now come to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Naka Teleeli and Elemental Ogre. And this.
Boo!
Boo!
You
They
suck,
were horrible.
Oh God, who pulled out the shotgun?
No, that was the McBain throwing a grenade to the crowd.
Oh, lovely. So the dark hour is now coming to a close. So once again, join me back next week when I'll just be playing random music. Yeah, because normally I don't talk during the show. I just play. I mean, heck, before you guys are coming in, I was playing Persona 3 and 4 music to set the mood.
I heard that.
So yeah, I was even trying to play like the 8-bit version of.
I caught that one too. I heard that one.
Yeah, that was just to announce you right after. So thank you again, gentlemen, for joining me, and I hope to see you relatively soon.
Yep. Been fun, and take care, everybody.
And you guys have a good night.
You too.
And this is the Keeper of the Dark Hour signing off.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we should, like, talk or whatever. Okay. That was fun. Yay, internet.